Hey now, Deadheads, back again. I feel like I've been saying this a lot lately, but we've got yet another Grateful Dead vinyl release, another box set from the Grateful Dead. This time, it is the new pressing of Dick's Picks Volume 1 that came out recently from Real Gone Music. Now, if you're like me, you've got your Discogs want list, your eBay saved searches. You probably know that this goes for a pretty penny. Which is quite funny because the pressings, the old Brookvale pressings of Dick's Picks releases, which of course is volumes 1 through 6, then they skipped 7, and volume 8, the much coveted Harper College show from Dick's Picks volume 8, those go for a lot of money, secondhand market, because those came out, some of them I think almost 10 years ago, maybe a little bit more. Those came out a while ago and people still want them, but people criticize them a lot because they're sourced from the CDs. You know, people say, oh, it's an aesthetic choice. Choosing the Brookvale Dick's Picks releases over the original CDs because they're sourced from the CDs. They're not going to sound any better from that original source. But Real Gone does things differently, and they've done quite a few Dick's Picks releases over the past few years. They do a new transfer from the tape typically. And so this is no exception to that rule. This Dick's Picks Volume 1 is a new transfer from the tape, and it's special because, you know, not only is it going to sound great because it's that new transfer, but they brought back the bass solo. Now, famously, I don't know if it's famous or not, but the story of Dick's Picks Volume 1, they went back and forth. Dick Latvala and Phil Lesh was leading the charge for this archival release of Dick's Picks, the very first Dick's Picks, 30 years ago. You know, this is commemorating the 30th anniversary of the first Dick's Picks, this release. And Phil's one note was, cut that bass solo from the other one. For some reason or another, they decided to include the bass solo in this. So you're getting a little bit more Dick's Picks Volume 1 than you have ever had before, than you'll get on streaming services or your old CD copy that you've probably had for quite some time now. So you have that side 7, the other one. And so we get a little bit more this time. Before I get into more of the songs, though, let's talk about what's inside the box. When we open up the box, you see, first I'll show off the hype sticker. This is a 4LP set, 180 gram vinyl, remastered by Jeffrey Norman from the original tapes for the first time ever. And that's what's so crucial about this. And that previously unreleased material is Phil's bass solo. They did a good job cutting these, and you'll see underneath this hype sticker, limited edition to 3,000 copies, these inner sleeves, so much better than we saw on that Dave's Picks release that I reviewed quite unfavorably quite recently. These inner sleeves are MoFi style inner sleeves, printed with Gotta Groove Records. High quality vinyl, high quality sleeves. The whole package really does look quite nice. And then last but not least, we have the liner notes. Now, I just left this at the bottom, but pretty minimal liner notes. I think the original CDs from 30 years ago had these very minimal, one-sheeter liner notes. Just the facts. No, this was before the era of writing those lengthy essays, and that's quite all right. And then we see on the back of the box a recreation of the original back of the box. Now, you might have noticed already, or you might have noticed while I was showing what's inside the box, the typo on the cover. I think it's hilarious. They go through all of this hard work to make the best possible Dick's Picks they can, making it even sound better than the CD that came out 30 years ago. And they left a typo on the box. No one caught that before it went to the printer. I think it's so funny because these records sound fantastic, and so leaving the typo on the front as just that little piece of humanity on there. I saw a few people upset on those Steve Hoffman forums about the typo. Doesn't bother me one bit. You'll also notice, and I'll show off something interesting that I have that most don't have. I have copy 224. Got another back of the box that's also copy 224. And there's a reason for this, and it's a really good reason. And that reason is that when my box arrived, there was a seam split on the back of the box. And, you know, I don't listen to the box, I listen to the records, but I wanted a really nice box. And so I emailed Real Gone. I got my box out, I unpackaged it right before I went to the airport for my bachelor party, but I emailed Real Gone while I was on my way to the airport, and I said, hey, there was a seam split, you know, is there anything you can do about it? And they said, yeah. What number did you get? We'll replace it for you. So I told them I was 224, and they sent me a replacement that just came in the mail today, but they were very quick on the turnaround in the customer support. Now I'm still waiting for Warner to get back to me with all of the problems that I have on that Dave's Picks release from fairly recently. Real Gone, man, they really embarrassing Warner with the quality of the Real Gone customer support. They're so good, and Warner's just dropping the ball left and right. You know, really can say that Real Gone is crushing it at every step of the way. Now, in terms of how it sounds, you know, of course, you have that extended, the other one with that extended Phil Lesh bass solo. And there's a few standouts for me in addition to this, and that's the He's Gone into Truckin'. Now, if you're a regular listener of the good old Grateful Dead cast like I am, you know that Jesse Jarno has really been diving deep into a few of the songs, not just the new songs, but the old songs as well. And the twinkling of the piano of Keith's playing on He's Gone got a special shout out recently from Jesse Jarno. I believe that was on the Kezar Stadium episode from about a week or two ago. And it sounds beautiful. Even though that's, you know, early 1973, this is late 1973, it sounds beautiful on this recording. He also mentions that new tag that they add to Truckin' near the end. And all of my favorite Truckins, especially some nice 1977 Truckins, it's got that high energy kind of build up, and then it really delivers near the end of that Truckin', right before that last few Get Back Truckin' Ons. And I never really noticed that 73 was that transition point where they added that tag, and they really went from good Truckins that I've always kind of liked to the Truckins that I really love. You know, that was the moment that Truckin' evolved and became one of my favorite Dead songs. And so it's nice to have that little moment in time, that little piece of history of where the great Truckins came from, that kind of origin story there. Of course, you know, other Deadheads have given shout-outs or mentioned their love for the Here Comes Sunshine on this. The playing in the band on this is, I think, quite good as well. But LP3 is what really stands out for me, sides 5 and 6, and that's the He's Gone into Truckin', into Nobody's Fault But Mine. It's really fantastic. If you had me choose, you know, one of the 4 LPs here, that's what I'm choosing. So all in all, really good package. I think the sound quality is fantastic. I know some people were complaining, but you know, compared to some of those other releases we've got recently, this release really knocks it out of the park. Really in love with it. Sounds great, sounds clean. I didn't need to clean it before I put it on my turntable. Maybe could have benefited from a clean a little bit, but given the packaging, it sounded pretty dang good right out of the box. And so quite happy with that. Really happy with this release. If you're like me, you caught it on that early bird special that Real Gone did. They put the first 1,000 copies up for $100 on their site. I think they launched pre-order on a few sites. I think Elusive Disc might have it listed for about $150. And so I think they went from a really good deal at $100 to asking a little bit much for $150. I think someone else is I think someone else is asking about $200 for this, which is just a little bit, you know, a little too bold there, a little too greedy, I think. But a great release. If you have the original Brookvale and you're looking to upgrade, I would say upgrade, but that would be a bit much for your vinyl collection. You probably have to have a much bigger shelf than I have. But I'm really happy with this release, and I hope if you bought it, you're as happy as I am. That is it for today. Thank you guys so much. I think the next few releases are going to be that annual CD box set into the vinyl box set, that 1973 box, and so that I think is coming up next. But we'll see. Maybe we'll be surprised and there's something that shows up at the front door before that. Fingers crossed. We'll see. Otherwise, have a great summer tour if you're going. I've got a couple city dates coming up. I know someone was asking if I was going to city. Of course I'm going to city, both nights. And then 2 out of 3 San Francisco dates coming up as well. So if anyone else is catching summer tour, let me know down below which dates you're planning on attending, or dates that you've attended already. Otherwise, have a great one. Peace.